Hey mi gente, it's Julian Steve. You already know my name, but if you are new here, hey! Today's video is going to be a personal one. I always have an issue making friends with men, especially non-black men. Straight non-black men. And in this video, I'm going to talk about this in more detail. But before I even start, I want to put a few disclaimers. The first one is that I'm not going to be talking directly about my job because of privacy purposes, and also I'm not going to name any of the perpetrators because I'm that nice. But also because I'm still not sure if I'm going to report them to HR. We see, but a few people have been suggesting that I should, but I personally do not feel comfortable to. And I'm serious. I'm trying to be nice. I don't want them to get fired. I don't want them to get in trouble. But at the same time, I do not want anyone else to go through what I went through, especially if they're a black person like me. Number two, I'm going to be focusing on middle school, high school, college, and work when it comes to making male friends. Number three, in this video, there are going to be certain topics that I'm going to be talking about in detail, and or I'm gonna censor certain parts because once again privacy, and I do know certain things do trigger people. So if you feel like you're going to be triggered by this video, I highly suggest you watch a different video of mine on my channel. Viewer discretion is advised. And yeah, I want to discuss a few things about me so you guys can get a broader idea of who I am and my background, in case you are new or in case you have never heard me talk about certain things that I'm going to mention right now. I was born and raised in the Bronx, New York City. The Bronx is the poorest borough of New York City. In case you did not know that, yes, the Bronx is poor. My family does not come from money. Best believe we do not. We are working class people. From pre-K to middle school, I went to school in the Bronx. In high school, I went to school in Manhattan. In college, I went to school in Brooklyn. And the reason why I'm bringing this up right now is because this is kind of going to give you an idea of like how I've been treated at different boroughs and my school experiences with making male friends, and maybe it's gonna give an idea of like why this may be possible. In middle school, I've went through so much crap. I'm gonna be honest with you, I rarely remember any of the good parts of middle school because most of the things I've went through at middle school was traumatic, and I've lost so much respect for numerous people because of the more I've gotten older and the more I've realized how messed up these kids were during my time at middle school. And sure, there were a few good, decent people around, but for the most part, a lot of people were very evil. And one thing I do think that played a part of how evil these kids were the fact that we grew up in poverty. And sure, some people are gonna be like, that's no excuse for people to treat others like shit, but that sometimes plays a factor on how you're going to be perceived. And then on top of that, if you see a certain image of a black person, because I am a black person who happens to be Afro Latino, they gonna expect me to act a certain way, to look a certain way. Black people are not a monolith, and I know a few of y'all hate the phrase monolith, but it is the truth. We're not all the same. We all have different types of backgrounds, and for some people, specifically in the Bronx, where I grew up at and where I went to school at, people had this certain mentality that there are different ways of acting black and acting Latino. When it comes to making male friends at middle school, it was very traumatic. All races of boys had issues with me or them, and they used to gossip about me. They used to make rumors about me, saying that I was gay, that I supposedly had a twin who was gay too, and I forgot his name. Yeah, there was this guy. He was gay, and some people used to confuse me with him because supposedly we look alike, even though we didn't. And a lot of these people, the reason why they thought that was because supposedly the way I spoke gave the impression that I was gay. The way I dressed gave an impression that I was gay. Keep in mind, I always dressed very boyish. I was gonna say masculine, but it's not really masculine. I was a preteen going to be a teenager, but I just dressed like any other regular boy. I think, in my opinion, I didn't dress feminine, but these people thought I dressed feminine. They thought that I was weird because of the way I dressed, the way I act, and they wanted me to be a stereotype of a black man. They wanted me to sag. They wanted me to talk urban. Back then, people were so ignorant. They would confuse AAVE with slang, specifically slang from the Bronx or from black Americans, and it's like you cannot compare the two because AAVE is totally different from slang. And when I talk about this stuff, yes, it wasn't only the black boys talking about me, but it was mostly non-black boys talking about me, specifically non-black Latino boys. And keep in mind that at this time, there were mostly Latino boys at this school, and this doesn't include boys who are Afro-Latinos because we were a minority at the school. And once you look black, they do not consider you as a Latino. I'm just saying it. That is the truth. That is what I went through at this school. We also have to think about this. If they think like this, imagine their parents, imagine their grandparents, imagine their cousins, imagine their aunts, their uncles, etc. You could just figure it out. Imagine if they think like this, imagine everyone else who's close to them. They must have an automatic impression of what is considered a Latino, what is considered to be a black man. And I didn't give them the satisfaction. Of course, I was very torn. I was crying a bunch of times at home, but that still didn't stop me from being who I am and being me, because I'm not going to stop being me. And then when it comes to music, I had to always hide my music taste too, because otherwise I would be bullied and made fun of for listening to white artists or listening to women artists, because apparently it's bad for boys to hear women artists, which is very stupid. But that was my situation at this freaking school. The people that I follow from my middle school, we occasionally talk, not all of us, because a few of them I don't talk to them at all. We just follow each other. But a few I've talked to here and there. And of course, for the most part, they're not bad people, but I'm not sure if they talked about me in a bad way too with a bunch of people. I may never know. I went through a lot at middle school, which made me not want to open up, be who I am. And there were moments I did want to change how I appeared. I hated my voice, and to this day I'm still insecure about my voice. I'm going to be honest with y'all. I'm very insecure. That's why sometimes when I edit, I be like, oh, my voice. But then it's like, it is what it is. I gotta say what I gotta say in these videos. I cannot stop doing videos or try to change how I sound because I hate how I sound. But I'm working on it. High school was not bad. I'm going to be honest. High school wasn't bad compared to middle school, But of course, there were obstacles too, especially with making male friends and gossiping as well. Similarly to when I was at middle school, some things I found out after I graduated, some things I found out when I was a freshman and a sophomore. And similarly to what I went through at middle school, people were questioning my sexuality, which why you guys care so much about that. And then people were questioning me about how I dressed. Keep in mind, I always dressed masculine, I guess, if you want to call it that, or like a boy presenting. And the reason why I bring these things up right now is because I do know that these factors probably affected me with making male friends too, about the fact that people were worried that I was gay, and or like worried that I'm going to embarrass them, because I did felt a few times when I was at middle school that people were embarrassing me, even a few of my friends. Not gonna say names, but I do feel like a few of my friends were embarrassed of me, and I could admit that right here, right now in this video. And this is personal, but I have to say it. So one of my friends, which her name is Ellie. I don't think Ellie's watching this video, but if she is, hey Ellie. Yeah, one of my friends from high school, she was with me during my sophomore year where I was crying. And I forgot the teacher's name, but I think his name is Eric, I'm not sure. But I was crying to my teacher because I was so upset that I was struggling to make male friends, and I was talking about how I went through something so similar to when I was at middle school, and I didn't want to go through that at high school. I didn't want to go through what I went through at middle school and repeat the same cycle of people gossiping about me, about my sexuality, people talking about how I dress and how I present myself as a black man, well, a boy, because I was a boy at that time. Worrying about who I'm dating or who I'm interested in, other stupid shit. I've did had a few male friends, especially during my junior and my senior year at high school. I did had a good chunk of male friends. Of course, it wasn't as much, but it was still a good chunk of them. And I would name a few of them, but I don't want to put them on the spot in case they're not comfortable or we haven't talked in a while, and I don't want to put too much pressure on them to think that we're still close, because we haven't really talked that much, which is what I'm going to get on further on in the video. I do not think I mentioned this before in the video, but I do want to mention it right now. During my high school years, I've mostly had, when it comes to specifically male friends, I mostly had black and or mixed with black male friends. And then I've had a few non-black male friends, but it was a few. College was definitely the best era of my male friendships. I had a decent amount of male friendships from freshman year to senior year at college, and I'm even friends with some to this day, and we talk occasionally, especially now that we graduated, and or some people are still at the school going for the next semester this fall, but they busy and they gotta enjoy their summer. They gotta catch up with their family members and etc, etc, etc. So I'm not going to be like, I'm kind of upset that none of them or hardly any of them contacted me, unless we do interactions here and there on Instagram, which is totally fine. I'm not calling you guys out, okay? But I do wish that we could talk occasionally, not all the time, but occasionally, and or hang out occasionally. I mean, I hanged out with a few of my friends who are men, and then there are some of my friends who are working as well, like how I am working too. So we're all busy. But yeah, out of all my years, like growing up and approaching adulthood, this was the best era of mine making male friends. I've had a diverse group of male friends during this time too, but I do wish that our friendships were more closer and more like we're trying to communicate, engage, talking directly to each other, either through social media, iMessage, phone call, etc. But I get it. Some men do not want to do that. And trust me, sometimes I don't want to do it too. But sometimes it is good to talk to your friends and go into more details. Work. Work, work, work. I started to work at my job on June. I'm not going to say the specific date, but it was on June, the beginning of June. And we were in a program. It was a good program for the job to learn how to work at the job, X, Y, and Z. Now we're gonna skip to like the final week. There was like this celebration thing, rah rah rah, and then I found out that people, specifically non-black men, were gossiping about me, saying rumors about me, saying that I was weird, saying that certain things I was doing is weird. And I'm going to give a story because it's going to make sense to you guys, hopefully. But what happened was I talked to one of my friends who I am close to at the job, and he basically told me that he told a few of the guys that I was trying to be a good friend by walking with him. Basically, I was walking with him, like, going the same direction home, because he took the similar train that I take home, but instead he has to get off at a different stop because he has to go upstate, and we all know I live in the Bronx, right? Okay, you see how that makes sense? That's called being a good friend, and I do this with both genders of my friends. I do this with men and women, but I usually do this mostly with women only because I'm not trying to be sexist, but we have to be real. Women always need protection, especially in these NYC streets. So I always try to take care of my women friends. Of course, I do the same with my men friends too. But women, I'm more cautious, and also I want to talk a bit more before I let you go to your own destination home, which makes logical sense, especially if you don't see your friends all the time. And keep in mind where I work, so I'm not going to see this specific friend all the time. But long story short, he told me that they were gossiping around me, saying that what I'm doing is weird, that is weird, and that who does that. And then when I told him, is this the first time they have said this about me? He says no. And that they've been talking about this on a group chat. And then I was like, what? Even though I kind of knew they had a secret group chat, but I didn't really care because I didn't thought they would be talking about me. But apparently I'm up for discussion, which is very stupid. And I do have a feeling that they said worse things about me because this specific friend didn't go into details on exactly what they said about me. And then when I asked this specific friend about why would they think that this is weird, he goes that, oh, I'm not sure, da da da. And I told him, I think they just because of our friendship, because we're close, and also because they jealous of you. And then he goes, no, I don't think so. I think it's just that it's not normal to them that I do that, which is stupid. And then after that, I was keep texting him while I was going on my way home at the nighttime. And then I had a mental breakdown at home. And thankfully, my family, they were there to support me. And a few of my friends that I've texted, and of course my subscribers, mi gentes, thank you so much for being supportive, who commented on the community post. I appreciate y'all. I appreciate all of you for commenting and on liking the post and letting me know that you read what I said, and that you have empathy for me, and you know what I'm going through, or maybe could relate to certain things that I've talked about in the comments. Those tears were real. I meant every tear meant something to me. It was me crying for all the years, all the trauma that I've went through with male friendships. It was the whole thing. It was like, that was like the aha moment that kicked in, that was like, that's it. I need to just cry and say what I gotta say to my family because I need to know the truth. But it wasn't happy towards the ending, and of course there were a few additional issues during the events, like people digging deep in or making side jokes about me and this friend of mine, or me doing this certain task that got disapproved. I cannot go into further detail about that, but if you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, a few of them, I said a few. Yeah, it was a 2 to 3 of them. Yeah, it was about 2 of them. They were making direct jokes at me and my other friend, and it was giving homophobia. I'm just gonna be honest, it was, because they were like, oh, he's gonna go home with him. Oh, I can't take him seriously. Stupid shit like that. And I was thinking, I was like, what's so funny? What the fuck? And this happened twice that night too, before I left the event. And I forgot to mention that previously. I'm sorry, y'all. But you could piece the pieces. That's what I'm saying. I know there is more to the story. I know these men are homophobic. And it's annoying because I'm not even gay and they assuming that I'm gay. And even if I was gay, let's just say I was gay. So the fuck what? I can't be friends with someone who's straight? Like, like if I was gay, like, and just thinking about it, it's like, why I have to explain my sexuality to people? That's none of your business. That's none of your concern. Why you worry about my sexuality? And also, why are you stereotyping black men? Because I know that's another factor. I know they want me to be a stereotype of a black man, like I mentioned on the community tab. They want me to be like these rappers or these niggas that they be seeing on the street around where they live. Yeah, if I was doing things that quote unquote were the norm for black men, they wouldn't be questioning about my sexuality. They wouldn't be questioning about the way I treat my male friends. They wouldn't be questioning anything. When I was talking to people at the nighttime, specifically the non-black men, they were acting very funny. Like, out of everyone, they were being the funniest motherfuckers during that night. And I felt the microaggressions too. I felt it. And yes, it's racism, but I'm trying to be nice. We're gonna call it microaggressions, even though it's racism. I felt it. And I know I'm not crazy. I know the non-black men that I'm talking about, they were the ones talking shit about me in this group chat, this private group chat that they made. And that's why I'm not going to talk to them no more. I'm not going to interact with them. Of course, occasionally I'm going to say, hey, hi, that's it. How's it going? I'm good, that's it. And then keep it pushing. But I'm not going to have no conversation with any of you motherfuckers because it's clear that you guys are homophobic. It's clear that you guys are anti-black. It's clear that you guys want me to be a stereotype of a black man, and I'm not going to give you that. And it's clear that you think that being a bad friend or being the stereotypical macho man friend is a good thing. And I'm not going to be doing that. If you don't want to be my friend or you don't want me to be who I am, I'm not going to be your friend. And that's straight on that.
Me and my team were having a conversation about how guys act with their best friends and girls act with their best friends, and sort of the differences and similarities.
Like a handshake? Like, I love you.
Is that what you're gonna do?
I love you.
You're making it awkward.
Okay, I love you, man. I love you.
Yeah. I love you too, man. I do.
Thank you for everything, Joe. You don't try. You be best of friends. Even when nothing did, you did there. I be the best. I just want to let you know, sir, I love you so much. I love you so much. And everything will do alright, fine, but now you be the best. It ever happened to me.
Why you talk say you love me? I be your girlfriend, eh? Why you talk say I love you? You love me?
You know, good one time you say you love me too.
You don't smoke me. I mean, alright.
I want to just tell you something. Ma, tell you. I love you, bro.
You're a mad man. You're a mad man. What does that mean to me?
I don't even remember, but I love you, bro. I always love you, you know.
Josh,
Hey, AJ.
what you saying, bro?
Come on, how are you?
I'm good, man. Just calling to tell you I love you, man.
I love you too, my bro. Thank you for the call.
Man, no problem, man. That's it. I'm gonna hit you up later properly.
Okay, peace.
Alright, bless.
We love that, man. Brotherly love right there.
Now this leads to the conversation on what to do next. One thing, I'm going to be very, very honest. I'm very cautious when it comes to my male friends, especially my male non-black friends, and I'm not going to be forcing a friendship no more. I'm not doing it, especially with non-black men. I'm not forcing it. If I could feel there's some type of microaggressions, racism, or both, I'm not going to be your friend. We could be acquaintances, but you're not going to be my friend. I'm not going through what I went through at middle school and high school. I don't want to feel like I have to pretend to be someone that I'm not. And that's why I'm saying I cannot be friends with most of these non-black men. I can't do it. I'm not trying to generalize, but I'm just saying for what I went through, and especially at work, I'm really traumatized. And this is specifically work-wise though, and maybe personally, I don't know. Because like I've said, I've went through similar things from throughout my whole life. I don't want to be continuing this cycle. And if I know this is not good for me, I'm going to avoid it. But this is my experiences making male friendships, especially with non-black men. I don't want to lie and pretend that, oh my God, everybody's amazing, you know, or like pretending that my experiences with male friendships, especially with non-black men, were amazing, because they weren't. And even when I became friends with certain non-black men, they always proved to me why I should have never became their friends at the beginning, at the first place. But from the experiences that I've been going through, that makes me just question things and think cautiously on who I talk to, how to talk to them, and what to do next. Because I cannot be feeling like I need to be changing who I am with everyone. And of course, we all have, to some degree, we do have to do, I forgot the freaking word. I forgot the word. But basically, we have to switch how we act at certain places, at certain times for our safety, especially us black people. We always have to do that. But I don't want to be doing that when it comes to my friendships too, especially with men. I don't want to be doing that. If you made it this far in this video, first of all, thank you so much. But second of all, you should watch this video about me talking about being an awkward black man, because similar things that I've mentioned within that video is going to make sense with this video. You all should also watch my video collaboration with my friend Kayla. We talked about identity politics, and we went into detail by detail about our experiences, and that also intertwines too with what I'm talking about right here too. I think you should watch both of those videos. They are very good, and they kind of intertwine with this one, and you get to know me a bit more. And of course, there are a few other videos on my channel, but I just want to piece you guys to this specific videos, okay? Okay. One more thing I do want to mention is that thank you so much if you made it this far in this video. I appreciate you. Be sure to like this video. Please comment and be respectful. And I do want to mention that there are certain words that I blocked because they are very, very racist, homophobic, those type of people commenting nasty stuff in my comment section. So please censor the words, or just refer to it to a different word, or a different type of, just a different word, please, for respect. Tell me your experiences with making male friends, with straight male friends, or even queer male friends. I want to know your experiences. Please share them in the comments. One more thing. do what is best for you. Do not feel like you have to be pressured to change yourself. And this includes myself too, because I'm not changing myself. I'm going to continue being who I am. And if you do not like it, leave. Thank you and